I gotta say one thing, guys. I freaking love you all. Now, why am I saying this? Because honestly, you guys are some of the most interesting fans possible to have. Why do I say this? Because you guys do some insane research and find things that I would never be able to think about, and you guys just do it. You guys are bloody insane. I freaking love you guys. So, I have two people today who have sent me stuff that they want me to take a look at, and it's from an individual called Rob, or at Twitter known as I'mCanon99, and also from another individual called Legionnaire Orion. So these two people have sent me some information that I really want to share with you guys here. So I'm going to go over to Twitter real quick and we'll see what's going on here, guys. So you can see we got a tweet here from Rob, and I mean, I'm not sure if his name is referring to you know, ROP from, or whatever his name is, from Smash, but might be wrong. By the way, so Rob, thank you so much for sending this my way, man, and also thank you so much to Legionnaire or Orion here for sending this you know, kind of summarizing theory here to me as well. Now, what are these about, guys? Now, as you guys might remember, yesterday, so I can find my hands on it. But yesterday I did a video specifically talking about a old riddle from one of the riddlers, and literally YouTube just stopped working with a 505 internal error. Look at this. Let me see if I can even get it on the screen here. Literally, oh, there we go. YouTube just finally started working. But here you go, guys. So I did a video yesterday, right there. I did a video. I'm not sure if you guys can even see it because of my bloody... I've got so many freaking programs open, dude. I need to like focus on this way more. But right below me here, you can see right there, literally right there, okay, right there, that video I did yesterday about the Gen 8 starter riddles. Now, these were some riddles that were posted a while back, covering specifically, like, you know, well, in general, okay, all they really covered was that there was an old riddle from one of the Japanese riddlers, saying that we're going to be getting a, I guess, you know, not really saying anything, but just showing 3 images, and these images telling us that we're going to be getting new starter Pokemon based on these 3 images in one way or shape. And there was a lot of theorizing going on about that, and I read what kind of like the general idea was, but you guys found some stuff that I didn't think about, so let's take a look at that actually here first. So Rob was the first one that I saw last night, and then Legionnaire sent this earlier this morning, I think. It's 17th today, yeah, 17th of December. This was sent on the 17th as well, but this was at like 2:37 a.m. in the morning for me, and this was like 11:35. This was earlier this morning, so I'm going to take a look at this one first, and then we'll take a look at this one afterwards. So let's start with this one first. So I believe the water starter of Generation 8 will be a Kappa instead of an Ox. Now, it kind of fits the description / concept of the water starter in the plus and minus rumor. A Kappa is a yokai, or Kappa in the chat, but let's see, a Kappa is a yokai in Japanese folklore that has a puddle of water on its head. Now, let's take a look at this, right? This thing is very creepy. It looks, like, I mean, just kind of disgusting, and it's eating a human. And right here, I guess it's similar to this one right here. Now, why is this an interesting theory, though? Because he's referring to the plus and minus rumor, which, let me see if I can pop that up real quick. Pokemon plus and minus, which you can also watch my video about, because I kind of already summarized that as well there. But if we find that, like, original post here, Dual Pixels, they have the original link Reno. Let's just open Reno that real quick, Reno. So here it is, guys. So Dual Pixels posted this, as you guys may remember, this old rumor. And in here, they mentioned the starter Pokemon right here. 3 new starters. Now, the water one apparently evolves into a water steel and is a squat, teardrop-shaped humanoid that's a jar filled with on its head. That as it evolves, it grows taller, and the jar gets bigger until it needs another set of arms to hold it on its head. Now, let's be honest, that sounds exactly like a Kappa. Now, it's not a jar, but it's a literal hole that holds water, okay? And I feel like this is very possible. Now, they, of course, would have probably made this design more feasible. Now, when you hear a jar, you really start getting a bad idea of what it could be. But if you look at, like, the design right here, I mean, it's not really the best one, but it kind of makes more sense, like, here. You know, I mean, this looks like a legendary, more or less. But it looks more realistic of, you know, what that could possibly be. So, this is a great theory. Now, it continues on and says, even though the Lotad evolutionary line is based off the Kappa, which is true, I was thinking of something that had a similar design like that, but that is true, yes. The Lotad does have literally is, I guess, based on it, but also does have kind of that, I mean, yeah, it's essentially based on it, but let's continue here. So, Lotad has the evolutionary line based on of the Kappa. I think more of a humanoid water design for the Gen 8 starter will distinguish the two. Also, Sha Wu Jing is depicted as a water buffalo in the Chinese folklore, and a Kappa in the Japanese folklore. That is a good point that I didn't even know. See, that's an interesting point. I never thought about that, or even decided to look into that, because I didn't think that was really, you know, that had much of a leverage, I guess. But he continues on here, says that, part 3, interesting note, Sha Wu Jing is primarily depicted as a fish person in Japanese pop culture. He's known as a giant fishman, which correlates with the water starter in the plus and minus league. It mentions it grows larger when it evolves. And here you can see the character, you know, just normally. And then you see right here the kind of monster design of it, you know, as right there. There you go. See, I guess that's one. But that one is a little bit stranger than the ones I expected. But this one makes more sense, right? So that's the first thing that he talked about here, which this makes way more sense now. This explains it, because if it's based, first of all, the Japanese Riddler was the one that sent this, right? The Japanese Riddler wasn't the Chinese Riddler. It was the Japanese Riddler that sent this to us. So the Japanese Riddler, of course, would make more of a connection with Japanese stuff that he could, you know, riddle with. So if he uses Xiao Jing from a Japanese, you know, I guess, depiction of him, or the Japanese folklore of him, that would make more sense. So Kappa folklore here, if you go down, I guess this has got like a general rundown of all of it. Let's see if we can find, maybe like, you know, if we can find actually the part where, you know, connects. Also, wow, they're feeding the Kappa. Do you gotta take a shit on them? Gotta take a shit on them, my dude. Damn. Defense against the Kappa, take a shit on their face, dude. Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Alright, so, but either way, so this is also something I mentioned yesterday, that, like, you know, you know, it mentions, like, that it's a fish man, right? Or the Xiao Jing can, like, you know, he's known as the large fish, good fish, I don't know, like some big fish, right? And I remember us searching for that, or giant fish man, there we go. I remember us searching that up on Google as well and finding images, specifically from, like, Bloodborne, showing kind of, like, you know, that kind of deal. So I think they can probably pull off a really cute Pokemon design that uses this as a concept, because let's remember, Pokemon uses a lot of real-life folklore, or real-life, you know, mythology, and, you know, that sort of stuff, for when they create Pokemon regions, characters, all that stuff. They always do. They really, really do. If you want to know more about that, I'll tell you, just search on the internet about some Pokemon mythology and all that stuff, or mythological connections and all that stuff, where they, you know, they connect to human mythology, history, and, you know, all that stuff, and fantasy as well, together with Pokemon, and, you know, use it as inspiration. So this makes a lot of sense to me. Now, the next one, though, is here from Legionnaire. By the way, also, big thank you to Rob here, or at I'mCanon99. If you guys want to follow him, please do. The man, like, this is some awesome research, man. I really appreciate the freaking help you sent here, and the fact that you even explained this to me is really appreciated, man. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to help me out here. I really appreciate it, dog. And again, I want to also say, in regards to this, like, I asked you guys yesterday in the video, like, hey, guys, if you know what this is about, if this maybe connects to something else, if maybe it isn't a, you know, a water buffalo or an ox or whatever, maybe it's something else, right? Maybe it's something different, because, you know, you can't have an ox and a buffalo. They're two similar creatures to, you know, have them as one being water and one being fire starter, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it connects to something else. So yeah, that makes sense. And let's go now over to Legionnaire Orion here. So also, Legionnaire Orion, thank you to you as well, man, for sending this to my way. Let's take a look at it, guys. So, hey, Ruffled, I'm a fan of your videos, and I was binge watching some recent ones when I decided to do some research and speculation of my own. I would love if you would check it out, and if you don't mind, here's the link. Yes, mate, I do not mind. I would love to check it out, and here we go, guys. So, I'm going blind into this one. Most of the time I read these, like, a little bit ahead of time. This one I just skim through a little bit, in terms of, you know, like, what it's about. And what it basically runs down, like, in you know, kind of in a rundown, is the starter Pokemon and the Capybara. So that's what it mostly runs down, like the Chinese riddles and that sort of stuff. So I haven't read it fully, like, you know, full. That's what I usually do. I read through the full thing. But this one I kind of just, like, you know, skim through, like, okay, so the first part is talking about Capybara, then he goes into the Chinese Riddler and the riddles about the Pokemon and all that stuff. And he kind of breaks it all down, what these connections are, and he also even links all the sources. This man is a legend, dude. Like, literally, you're a bloody legend, dude. I'll link this down below. You guys can check it out on your own. I'll link everything so you guys can read it on your own if you don't want to read me talking about this. So take a look at this on your own and have your own thoughts about it. So let's start with the actual thing here. December 17, 2018, 10:30-ish a.m. I love that he actually puts the timestamp there. It's awesome, dude. So he says here, the Capybara are very closely related to the Koipu, also called the Nutria. And they look quite similar, like the Capybara. The Koipu is a semi-aquatic. The Koipu slash Nutria and the Capybara are rodents. The Koipu is originally from South America, but has been introduced to other parts of the world, including Asia. Okay, interestingly, in Asia they are called Nutria, but in Spanish-speaking countries, such as most of the South Americas, they are called Koipu, because Nutria usually refers to otters there. In Asia, they are considered an invasive species. Now, this could tie in with the Asian/Buddhism rumors, as it involves Asia and the theme of old tradition versus new innovation. As they were non-native of a species, they were introduced for fur farming. New species plus new industry equals new innovation and theme. They could be a water starter if you want to grasp at straws. The Dragon Quest 8 hero hero that was shown in the Chinese Riddler's riddle has a rodent as a companion. However, I think that the Chinese riddles mentioned above is referring to something other than the starters. First, we have the characters whose name is Hero, and has a special pet. His Japanese name means protagonist. His mother's name is Zia. Zia is also means hero of a work of Chinese. Jia. Also, I said Zia. Jia is also means the hero of a work of Chinese fiction, and is also a Chinese philosophy similar to chivalry. Jia is also a Greek name meaning welcoming. Fair enough. You know who else is welcoming? The main character's mom in Pokemon. The hero can also marry a character named Medea, who's a story from which is a story from Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, Medea marries Jason. Jason is a member of a band of Greek heroes known as the Argonauts. One of Jason's fellow Argonauts is Theseus. Theseus killed the Minotaur in the labyrinth. This man is making some connections. Despite his Greek associations, he is made by a Japanese company. Also, he is from Dragon Quest VIII and could be hinting at Pokemon Generation 8. Oh, this man! Wow! See, I thought this was going to be a bit more about the starter Pokemon in general, but this man is making some bloody connections. Now, remember, this makes sense. Because this is kind of maybe the point of the riddle. We always thought the riddle was referring to starter Pokemon only, but it seems like it could be referring to something totally different. Now, I believe Dragon Quest VIII's hero is referring to the protagonist of the game. He's young, comes from humble beginnings, becomes a hero, and is a protagonist. Now, I brought up the Greek reference because of the second image of the Riddler's riddle, a labyrinth. Like the one containing the Minotaur. The Minotaur was a mythical creature of legendary status. His mother was a daughter of the god of the sun, Helios, and an Oceanide, a type of ocean nymph, which is a mythical creature as well. His father was the Cretan bull, a perfect specimen of bull and a gift from the sea god Poseidon. His actual name means starry. I believe in a video you mentioned that the star could possibly be the name of the Gen 8 engine instead of a game. Also in Greek. Oh shit! Are you? No way! Okay, listen. I know I might be overreacting a little bit here, but hear me out, okay? Let me pause the music, okay? Let me take a minute, okay? Let me take a minute. Let's go into full cam mode. I gotta take a minute here, guys. I know we're in the middle of a video, and I know we're in the middle of reading. You can read this on your own as well if you want to, but oh my god. Okay, listen. These connections are insane. These connections make a lot of sense, and it's beyond me how this man managed to put this all together and find all this stuff. Of course, you know, if there's something, I missed here, or if something that's incorrect, everything will be linked down below. You guys can also, do your own research as well if you want to. But this man's, done a lot of research to figure all this out, so I am very intrigued. Also, my door just closed. That was scary, but I think somebody just came home. But, man, I don't know, dude. That's some different level of, connecting stuff, and I love it. So, I believe in the video you mentioned that Star, which I mentioned yesterday, that Pokemon Star may actually have been referring to not Pokemon, being Pokemon Star the game, but rather that Pokemon Star is referring to the new engine they're using for the Generation 8 games. And what he says here is that his actual name means Starry, aka the name of the bull, the Cretan bull, the father of the Minotaur, is his actual name means Starry. And I believe the video you mentioned that Star could possibly be the name of Generation 8 engine instead of a game. Also, in Greek mythology, stars are the resting place of legendary heroes and creatures. God. The constellation Taurus is said to be the resting place of the Cretan bull, who is the father of the Minotaur. Thus, one could say the Minotaur is a pretty legendary monster. Wow. I believe the Labyrinth is referring to a legendary Pokemon, either one of the game mascots or a legendary Pokemon for both games, like Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Zygarde, Kyurem, Necrozma, etc. Finally, Shabu Jing was a general of Heaven, I guess. But he was banished, tortured for breaking a valuable vase. He became very angry and monstrous and callous. However, he was later redeemed by a Bodhisattva. or Buddhist who has achieved nirvana. He even later becomes an ordained Buddhist monk. Shaojing is the main character in the Journey to the West. Journey to the West has the characters traveling from China to India. The story mixes themes of tradition, magic, religion, Buddhism, and heroism with discovery, exploration, and alchemy and technology. Thus, old tradition versus a new innovation is present in this story. I believe this refers to the antagonist and the plot. A guy who turned bad and must be redeemed could be the plot. The plot could be going on a journey and redeeming the antagonist. Finally, the region India/Sri Lanka was shown on the globe in a photo with the Christmas tree and Plusland Minin. And now this is actually a little bit confused right here. I think he got this a little bit confused. See, there was 2 Christmas tree images, okay, and I think this is where the problem comes in with me and getting things a little bit like mixed up in videos because I make so many different videos and things get a little mixed up. I'll make sure from in the future, I'll make sure to explain everything precisely. So. There's a Christmas tree image that has North America and South America in it, and that one doesn't have plus and minus in it though. But that image though does have like just the countries and just the tree, like I think the tree in the background. Now, the other image that does have plus and minus or plusel and minin in the corner, that little their plushies. That one though does have North America and South America on the map. So I'm not sure what to say about that. But either way, in Journey to the West, let's see. Was shown in the globe in the Christmas Eve. Now, in the Journey to the West, they go to India. Sri Lanka is off the coast of India. You mentioned a few times the connections to Sri Lanka in your videos. Buddhism is the main religion in Sri Lanka and China. Thus, the region could be China, India, Sri Lanka, or some combination. As a side note, the Piyuk rumor mentions serpents, such as a Naga, which are present in Buddhist beliefs and tales. If the Minotaur is a mascot legendary instead of a legendary for both games, then a Naga could be the other. Now, Nagas are a legendary in that they are disciples of one of the 4 heavenly kings and the guardians of the Deva, godlike beings in Buddhism. So I guess kind of like Valhalla in Viking culture or Viking religion. So they would be creatures legendary enough to inspire legendary Pokemon. So that is insane, man. Now, he says here, the labyrinth where the Minotaur dwells is underground, minus. The place where the Nagas dwell is a mountain, plus. The Minotaur is an evil monster, which is a negative thing, minus. The Nagas are heavenly guardians, which is a positive thing, plus. Plus and minus reference, perhaps? Indeed, very true. Now, this would also, of course, break what Rob said here about this being the starter. Now, that's the thing, right? We don't know. This also could be a double entendre, right? This could be that, like, these riddles are pointing in more than just one thing, right? They're pointing at, maybe what the legendaries might be or also what the starters might be. But it's all very much all over the place. It's all very scattered out. And it's very hard to know, guys. So tell me what you guys think. Do you think that these riddles, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about in terms of riddles, watch my video that I did about the riddles, which is the one right here. This video right here, guys. Gen 8 starter riddles. Watch that, please, because that will explain everything to you. Literally, this video should give you everything, like pretty much a rundown of everything you need to know. So watch that one if you want to get a bit of a better rundown of what I'm talking about, because that's the riddles that he's referring to here. And originally we all thought that these are about starters. That's what Rob was speculating here, that this could be the starter Pokemon still, but it's based on a Kappa instead of being based on something else. I mean, of course, we do have Lotad, as he mentions here. Lotad being based on a Kappa, of course, sure. That's very true. But it could also be that it's also just something like this instead, like Legionnaire here says, that it could actually be, the connection to the whole games in general, the legendaries, the engine, all that stuff. It could be everything, guys. But again, it's all theories, it's all speculation, it's all, it is what it is. So let me know in the comment section down below, guys. What do you think about this? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Beautiful Rowlet. Have a safe, great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.